We don't study the mine wars, and really we don't study history to learn about how things were. We study the mine wars to learn about how things are.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
We've got Lloyd Tomlinson. He is the education coordinator for the West Virginia Mine Wars Museum. Lloyd, welcome to the Valley Labor Report. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Jason. My dogs picked that exact moment to start howling out the window, so I just had to get up and close the door.
Oh, yeah, no worries at all. Yeah, we are really excited to talk to you about this. This is the West Virginia Mine Wars Museum is something that so many people in our circle have been to. Camp Solidarity is something that people talk about pretty regularly. And for one reason or another, me and Adam just haven't been able to make it up ourselves. But, you know, maybe this year is the year, and we want to talk to you about Camp Solidarity. But before we do that, talk to us about the museum. What is the West Virginia Mine Wars Museum?
Well, first and foremost, we're a people's museum, and we tell the story of the miners and their families who fought for their civil and constitutional rights to organize, exercise their free speech, and they basically fought and died to try and organize a union because of the poor working conditions in southern West Virginia during the early 1900s. And we tell the story of the mine wars from about 1902 all the way up to really the culmination of the mine wars, the Battle of Blair Mountain, which happened in late August, early September of 1921. I got the Centennial event stuck in my brain somehow.
Right. And why is it important for people to remember the mine wars and what people went through, 100 years ago? Why is that something that we should be teaching people and learning about today?
Because it is incredibly relevant today. The history of working people, especially with the West Virginia Mine Wars, has been suppressed for generations. The miners who fought in the mine wars certainly didn't talk about it for a whole host of reasons, not the least of which they took a vow of silence upon joining the Union. They basically vowed not to discussed union business openly, and they took that seriously. So for all the different reasons that they chose not to talk about it, this created a vacuum that allowed the coal industry and the state government to step in and really control the narrative and erase the roles that many disenfranchised people played. So the state basically chose not to talk about it for about 50 years. And when it was discussed, people like Don Chafin, the sheriff who was bought and paid for by the coal companies to bust the union in Logan County, were made out to be heroes. Black miners, immigrant miners were not mentioned at all. The role of women in these strikes and in the mine wars wasn't mentioned at all. And they sort of fell back on the stereotypes that really originate from the Hatfield and the McCoy feud. So if I want to be really cliche about it, if you don't learn about history, you're doomed to repeat it. And I think we see the impact still of how that story was suppressed for so long. Things like Amazon proposing to build company towns. And to get even more topical and into the present, look at what's going on in Los Angeles. The president calling in active duty Marines and occupying the city. At the Battle of Blair Mountain, President Harding sent 6,000 federal troops to put a stop to the Miners' March. And of course, the miners backed down because they saw themselves as patriots who were fighting for their constitutional rights. And many of them had been veterans themselves. But one of our founders, Chuck Keeney, probably put it the best I've ever heard it. We don't study the mine wars, and really we don't study history to learn about how things were. We study the mine wars to learn about how things are.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
That's really great. We have had Chuck Keeney on the program before to talk about his book and to talk about the Mine Wars Museum. Folks can check out that interview if they want to learn more about it. We wanted to get you on, Tomlinson, to talk about Camp Solidarity. Camp Solidarity is an event that is going to be going on at the Mine Wars Museum in September or October. Talk to us about Camp Solidarity, when it is, what folks can expect there, and where they can go to sign up.
All right, so Camp Solidarity is happening this year from September 18th to the 20th in Matewan, West Virginia. Of course, the Mine Wars Museum, that's where we're located. It's also where the Battle of Matewan, one of the pivotal events of the mine wars, happened. And we're going to have 3 days of classes that talk about organizing skills, things like how to fight and win a campaign. So some stuff that's really geared towards people who are new to organizing, new to unions. Also how to fight and win in environments that you don't have collective bargaining rights. So for this would be of interest to probably a lot of state employees or governmental employees, especially in the South. We're also expanding our classes about union history and labor history. We've got a history of strikes class. One of the most popular events from Camp Solidarity 2023 was a walking tour and our artifact show and tell. We're bringing that back. And we've got a couple of keynote speakers that we're bringing in as well. Tom Jurovich wrote a book on the Ravenswood United Steelworkers strike that actually happened right after the Pittston strike, which is where Camp Solidarity originally formed. We named our labor conference in honor of Camp Solidarity, which is actually a few miles away from where I live now in Norton, Virginia. This farm in Russell County, Virginia, a miner allowed up to 3,000 people to really use his land and set up Camp Solidarity as this organizing hub during the Pittston strike. So Tom Jurovich wrote a book about the USW strike that followed that in Jackson County, West Virginia. And our second keynote speaker is going to be Cecil Roberts, the president of the UMWA. So this is going to be a really big year for us. We're expanding on Camp Solidarity 2023 from 2 days to 3 days. We'll also have our sort of an award ceremony. The museum gives several different awards, like the Mother Jones Hellraiser Award, the Hazel Dickens Truth Teller Award. I'm sure I'm messing that up, but we'll be bringing in the awardees for a special panel. We've got panels planned on a history of the Blackberry Creek strike in 1984-1985 against Massey Energy. That panel is going to be made up of local UMW miners who participated in that strike. And the panel I'm most looking forward to, moderated by Kim Kelly, is strengthening solidarity in the face of fascism.
That sounds like a great event, Lloyd. Really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about it. We'll continue to follow it, and maybe we'll be able to make it up there. Kim Kelly, obviously another friend of the show. Where can folks go if they want to sign up and check it out?
You can go to our website, wvminewars.org /Camp Solidarity 2025. There you'll find a place to register. You'll find our scholarship application. Information on lodging is available on our website. And you can find all the information about the conference. We're going to have the full program uploaded next week. And it's shaping up to be a really, really big conference. Spaces are actually going pretty fast. So if you're interested in coming, I'd suggest you get registered with us soon.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, Jacob.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.